Hi Jim, here again. So I wanted to show something today. So I came up with this method of killing mites in July. So July is like the most critical point to control Varroa mites. So what I got here is this panel that I slide out every day to see if the mites are going down or up or what's happening. So you can see there all those little dots. I took this out yesterday and cleaned it, so this is a new sheet. All those little dots are Varroa mites. Every single one of those dots. So when I put these mite strips, the next day there were several thousand or more the next day. This is like the 4th day I've been doing this, maybe the 5th. But so I'll just brush those off. I take this in the garage. I brush all the mites off because they're dead. Before I use the strips, those mites were running all over the place, trying to get away from me. I had these little tweezers. I was chasing them around that board, that panel. They're trying to get away from me. It was funny, and they can hop like grasshoppers. So it's like, what? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this in and clean that up and put that back in there. Same panel. Same thing with this one. So this one's gonna go. This one's gonna get cleaned, put back in there. And you can see that's the setup I have on all these hives. So those other 3 there, same exact setup. Each one has a panel like that, and all those all those have the mite strips in there. And so I'll probably leave those mite strips in there. Same ones. It's best to just keep the same ones in there probably for at least 3 weeks. And if the mite count starts to get really low, then maybe put some couple new fresh strips in there and check it the next day. We don't want to. It's not a good idea really to keep that fumigation going in there long term. And so if I don't see hardly any mites after I put some new strips in about 2 weeks now, I guess, then I'll take those strips out and give them a permanent break until I start seeing signs. So what I did is I saw signs of mites. They're actually starting to accumulate, get more. So I started seeing them getting up to like 50, 60 every time I pull the panel. That's in a 24-hour period, which is why I did the strips. Okay, so I'm going to check all of these, and now these 3 swarms that I caught here, they really don't have very many mites. The second swarm that I caught, they're about the same size as this one here as far as quantity of bees, and they probably have maybe 8-10 mites a day, which ain't bad. So I'm not going to fumigate the inside with these strips unless I see that they're not able to control it themselves, because bees have a grooming ability where they can groom each other, but not all. It's kind of like not all of them could do it, right? It's kind of a rhythm that they some hives get going, and they come here, let me groom you today, come on, right? And so, but not all hives have that grooming instinct, and so, and that's what I am actually trying to encourage. I'm trying to encourage a grooming instinct in these bees, and so, but if you get too many mites coming in, because they're everywhere, they can overwhelm the hive, especially in drone laying season, early spring. You get all those thousands of drones being laid. That's the favorite place of the mites to lay their eggs and repropriate. And so there you go. And all the hives are doing great. There's orientation flights going on pretty regular, intermittently. So like maybe example, one hive may orientate one day and a different hive the next day and a different hive the next day. But it's actually good to see small orientations. I used to get excited when I would see like there's thousands of bees coming out and filling this cove here, you know, orientating. Ah, they're reproducing really good. They're a healthy hive. That is not a signature of a healthy hive. That could be a signature of an unhealthy hive when you see these mass orientations, because there could be mass die-offs, and the hive is trying to compensate for the losses, and by getting the queen to lay more eggs. So what I've noticed is that every time I see an orientation, it's fairly small, except for this one yesterday. This one had, the one that has most of the Varroa mites, that was a very large orientation flight. That means their count is declining. She's laying more eggs, therefore there's going to be more mites. So on this one here, I've probably pulled out about 5,000 mites in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. Yeah, about 1,000 mites on average each day. You know what I mean? 1,000 on average. So I'm gonna see how it goes, and that's kind of it, right? And we'll just come on over here and check on the status of everything over here. Peaches, oh my gosh, they're falling so many of them every day, and that's okay. It's good for the peaches to fall. There's too many of them up there. Too many peaches. Okay. All right, so I also had a peach that fell into the water. Where they get their water, and I just thought, I'll just leave it, right? And then I noticed that the girls didn't want to go in there anymore, and I gave it a whiff, and it stunk. It had a bad odor. So I went ahead yesterday and I cleaned all that out, and so there you go. And I was out here yesterday doing the same thing I'm doing now. This looks constantly tilted. Doing the same thing I'm doing now, and I was leaning forward, moving the foam around and stuff, and I came back and leaned back. I'd already been sitting here for like probably 10 minutes at that point. I leaned back and something bit me or stung me. I'm suspecting it was a recluse spider, because it didn't behave like the wasp stings that I had earlier. About a month ago, it didn't behave like the bee stings that I've had lately. It behaved totally different, and the bite felt different. My immune system was different. So I think it was a recluse spider, or maybe a funnel spider. It got caught, and it was underneath in here. It was underneath in here. And it kind of probably squished it a little bit when I leaned back, and it bit me. So yeah, I got on some ibuprofen, some Benadryl, and iced the heck out of it. It seems okay. Now, when we get spit, when the recluse spiders bite, or the funnel spiders, I notice with me anyway, it gets big, black and blue. It's like a big, huge bruise is what it leaves behind. First, it starts out as a little purplish area, and then that bruise, I've had it go all the way around my leg. It bit me on my knee, but the bruising went all the way around, huge, around my leg. I'm pretty sure it was a funnel spider or recluse. They're all over the place around here. And so, anyway, it seems to be okay today. So I haven't taken any ibuprofen or Benadryl or iced it today. So must have nipped it in the bud before it went too far. So anyway, all the hives look healthy today. I don't see any thousands of dying or hundreds out in the front dying. I don't see any deformed wing viruses out in the front. Everything looks good. So I made a comment about these cool suits or compression suits. And when it gets warm, when the season starts to warm up, I usually wear these every day because I'm outside all day. And when it compresses and it also holds in moisture. So when this breeze comes by, it's like air conditioning. My skin feels like it's being chilled. Can't wear them at night. You can't wear these when it's cold either. It gets twice as cold. It's a compression cool suit, and they work really well, extremely well. I was really impressed when I started wearing them and I started seeing the results of these suits. Yeah, I was really impressed. It beats putting on suntan lotion all day. Right? I was always getting sunburned all over the place. You know, I'd put the lotion on and still get sunburned. And not anymore. Yeah, these are UV protected, UAV protected, so sun gets reflected like suntan lotion. And geez, I think they're really cheap on Temu or something. Something like about $8 or something for a suit, something like that. Pretty cheap. All right, well, I just thought I'd drop a line. And that first one that I caught, I am feeding that one, but they're eating that so slow. It's crazy how slow they're eating it. But the reason why I started to feed them again, but only them, was because I started seeing more girls being brought out dead, and more than any of these by far. And I've noticed a pattern. When I stopped feeding them after about 5 days, they start bringing out more girls. Even ones that looked healthy, they'll like injure them and bring them out. Like, now you're injured, you gotta go. And so then I feed them, and after about 3 days, 2 or 3 days of them having the food, I noticed that less and less until there's no more dying girls. So I created kind of a situation where they're really dependent upon me giving them sugar water to stay healthy. And I'm trying to break that cycle by not feeding them for like as long as I can, really, until I start seeing a bunch of dead girls again out in front or dying, and look like there's something injured them, like their fellow sisters, and then I'll feed them again, and just to try. I'm looking for that balance in that hive because it doesn't have a balance yet. Just something ain't right about it yet. So I've got these strips on these wooden little flat pieces of wood. I got those mite strips that I had rubber band to these little wooden strips, and I got them in the front of all these hives. You can see right there in the front of all those hives are those little strips, and I have that in front of every single hive. They come out, hang on there, and they get that oil. Those things are constantly leaking oil a little bit through the strips, and they get that on their legs, on their body, and they trample that in and around inside the hive, and the mites come in contact with that, and done deal. Oh, yeah, mites hit that stuff, come in contact, and it's over. They just fall down. So I think that's a good idea to have them in the front with the bees coming in and out, because it really, it's like a double whammy. You got some strips on the inside. You got some strips where the girls walk right across it, coming in and out. Try to get every girl I can. A little bit of that stuff on them. So, okay, I guess I'll go pick some blackberries and stuff. Maybe a few peaches. This peach tree collapses down upon me. I've got these wooden poles all around this peach tree. If I didn't, all these branches would just break. Too many peaches. I'll put a sign out there in the front. Peaches for sale. All right, just thought I'd drop the line. Everything's going great. Bees are doing great. All right, please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, leave a comment, click the like, and you have a good day. All right, bye. Do the margarita.